gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse. Welcome to episode 370 of Geek Syndicate, where we do what we do best. That's bring the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and with me as always is...
It's Nuge coming at you live from Northampton. Obviously, I can't give you my actual address because, you know what I mean? Don't want them to find me. You know who they are.
Them, yeah, of course.
Them.
Of course. Yeah. I'm glad you're coming at us. So you said, coming at you live and whatever.
Do you know what? That made me sound so old if that's how I said it.
I was thinking, the thing is, you said it and I was like, yeah, I like that reference. And I thought, that's old, isn't it?
That's old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, if Eric B can still be like kicking it, I don't see why I can't be.
Man, just for reference, Barry sent me a thing and it's Rakim of Eric B and Rakim, who are old school hip hoppers from way back in the day. And I'm like, and the weird thing was, I was rapping one of their tracks to my kids on Sunday, and then suddenly you sent me that, and I was like, essentially, what I'm saying is, I feel it old.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
The thing is, I even said what I saw the other day was it was a picture of Danny Glover from the first Lethal Weapon, and it said he was 41 when he did Lethal Weapon, and he was too old for this shit. And I'm thinking, damn,
in it. I saw an article the other day, and it was basically, and it had pictures of different sets of people from back in the day, like the actors from Cocoon.
Oh yeah.
So Cocoon was about people in a retirement home, and we're older than they were.
Oh, come off it, man!
I'm sure it was something like. But the article was like, why did people look older back in that day than they do now?
Yeah, it's just true.
Yeah, I thought
you had an answer.
No, I didn't read it. I just made me feel too
much of a waste.
Yeah, what I was gonna do was look up the cast and see how old they were. And I thought, why am I doing that to myself?
Yeah, just leave them sort of things alone, bud.
Yeah, let's leave it.
Yeah, let's move on
because I'm actually typing. So let's move. Right, okay. Like 48, 50, 53.
Yeah, okay.
We're older than okay, moving on, man.
To quote Jim Brown in Enter the Dragon, man, I'll be too busy looking good.
Damn straight.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
Oh, I found that T-shirt the other day and it's a bit mashed up. I was sad, I almost cried.
What, the old Geek Syndicate T-shirt?
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen one of those in years.
That style's coming back. I thought we should do another one.
Yeah, we should do another. Yeah, let's do another Geek Syndicate T-shirt, man.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, shout outs.
I want to give a general shout out to everyone that is currently supporting us on Patreon. There's not many of you, but do you know what I mean? It is appreciated.
Yeah, it is actually.
It is very much appreciated.
You're the unsung heroes.
Yeah. And we've had a couple of emails, over the last sort of month or so, which have been nice. So, and a big shout out to everyone on the Geek Syndicate, especially the Geek Syndicate private Facebook group. You know who you are.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's really nice actually to go on there and just converse with people. And it's not like, given the current rubbish bin fire that the world seems to be at the moment, it's quite nice that you can just go somewhere, a little bit like Cheers, where everyone knows your name.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And they're really glad you came.
Yeah, all right, we got it. Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody knows your name. Oh, you got me going as well. Yeah,
you wanna be where you go. People are over the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Can I just say, as a side, before we go on, the tune that I got in my head, and I have to shout out my little sis, Stace Bob, is Shakedown from the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack.
Oh, damn.
Shake down, break down.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Shake down, break down. You're busted. Man, let me tell you, right? If anyone ever comes up to me and says, what were the 80s like? I will send them a link to that video. Because basically, that video is just a video of clips from Beverly Hills Cop 2 and just that main dude singing the tune, break down, shake down, and just lots of clips of Eddie Murphy like chucking people over bonnets of cars and stuff. I'm like, man, 80s were great.
Yeah. 80s TV show. What was an 80s TV show with that little bit of bongos in the soundtrack?
You know what I mean? Also, I remember watching, they did the latest Beverly Hills Cop, whatever one number we're up to now, on Netflix. Dropped
4,
last year.
was it 4?
Yeah, 4.
I'm sure I watched that.
Yeah, you did watch it because you talked about it. I went in I went into that thinking this is going to be god awful, but I got to give it a go. Do you know what I mean? And within 5 minutes, they played that tune, and I think Eddie was like foiling some kind of bank heist with like a truck or something.
Yeah,
and I was in.
You weren't just in; you were back in.
I was back in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, hear that. Anyway.
Oh, it is a kind of shout out / question from the Senate because I got a text from Andy, our director, and
our director.
Director, yeah, Andy, our personal.
So for those who don't know, many years ago, as Geek Syndicate, as far as I know, and this is what as far as I know, we are the only podcast to get a TV show, get 2 TV shows in this country anyway, and yeah. And Andy was the director for those 2 little documentaries we did for BBC iPlayer. But given the state of legal, whatever it is, 60 days and it was off, which is a tragedy.
But if anyone wants to watch them, you can always find me down at Wolfenstein Market where I've got a couple of bootleg copies that I'm selling.
Yeah.
Discs.
Yeah.
But anyway, Andy had texted me a question to say, hey man, remind me of your opinion on the Dial of Destiny.
Okay. Why don't you go? Are we there now? Are we there? We're just going for it. You're gonna give that. You're just gonna go now. I mean, all good.
Yeah.
Are we, all right. Go.
I'm gonna give it a quick opinion. I've seen it twice now. Cinema and then at home. Might be 3 times now. I enjoyed it because I think it was very much a film for Indy in his closing years. So it obviously was never going to be the same sort of film as Raiders was. But I did enjoy it. I had issues with the ending and some of Indy's arc. I might maybe even do a longer podcast on that. But yeah, I did have issues with just his arc towards not the very end, but just towards the end. And I felt the way they ended it was quite abrupt as well in some ways. I didn't have as much of a problem with I've forgotten her name now. Phoebe.
Oh yeah.
His character. I didn't have as a lot of people did. My biggest problem with it is I still stand by. They should have had short round. I don't care what anyone says.
Absolutely, I ain't even gonna get into it because
go watch
that was a no-brainer, man.
Go watch Temple of Doom. He is literally a prototype for Indiana Jones. There's even bits of him sitting there wearing the man's jacket and hat, and he looks brilliant. And his mannerisms, the way they are together, he was just geared up. He was geared up for it, and just threw it away. So that will always burn me, I think. But no, I enjoyed it. I still think, as much as I enjoyed it, and I still enjoyed Crystal Skull. I've got issues with that, but I enjoyed it. But I'm not one of those people that go, "Oh, there's only 3 Indiana Jones films," or them ones. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be that guy. But I do believe that they should have left it at The Last Crusade because that was possibly the most perfect ending for any trilogy of films I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
You literally had man riding off into the sunset.
Theme tune playing,
reconciled with his dad. He'd found out everything he needed to know about him. He got his hat, he got his name, and it never felt that it was done in a really cheesy way, and you just couldn't leave it alone.
Which is kind of pretty much the standard way of doing things at the moment, really.
But it is a standard way. But yeah, in answer to your question, Andy, yeah, I enjoyed it.
There we go. Yeah.
News?
News. The only bit of news. Yeah. It's time.
Go on.
Yeah. It's time for the news. So I got the only bit of news I got is something you mentioned.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's your. Why don't you go first? Let's see if it's in yours.
If it's news from today,
yeah,
then I wasn't going to do that.
Oh, okay.
So that might be your news. I was going to talk about the Comixology thing.
You talk about that, and then I'll talk about thinking about.
Okay. So apparently, the founders of Comixology, David Steinberger and Chip Mosher, are launching a new digital comics app called Neo Ichiban.
Which is it's a choice.
It is a choice, but apparently the app's gonna debut next month, and when it comes out, it's gonna launch with support from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Distry, Oni Press, Vault Comics, and probably more. One of the things they're saying is creators will be able to autograph and sketch on digital issues, and they'll be able to resell digital. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but one of their big sort of selling points is they're going to really focus on it being much more of a comic experience rather than what we've currently got with Kindle.
If I've got it right, they were the original Comixology guys.
Yes. Yeah.
And what they said was that they really thought that Amazon might have done something good with it. They said all the technology was there to do something much better with it than they were doing, and I guess they were utterly disappointed.
Yeah, because Comixology was such a good app until it got to Amazon, and then they basically just stripped it for spare parts, and
that was the thing, because they had all the resources at their fingertips.
So I'm really interested, and I think I think for a long time as well. Yes, there's been other digital apps and stuff floating around, but no one's really really damaged like the Kindle stuff. So I'm really interested to see what this looks like. I've signed up for it for more news when it comes out and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see what it looks like, what titles are on there,
and how much it champions indie stuff as well, because they kind of got left behind.
Well, I mean, I say this as someone who did have indie sort of titles on there and stuff on Comixology. It is so. The thing with Kindle is that even though I've got like Kindle Unlimited, which means you can get comics through there and stuff like that, the problem is you've almost got to know what comics you want that are on Unlimited, because you get they give you like a sort of selection of like these are on Kindle Unlimited, but they tend to be sort of based off your own choices already. So if you've been reading like Batman, a lot of the ones they give you are just more Batman.
Yeah.
But it's very rare that I see indie titles pop up in that Unlimited. In my Unlimited sort of like list.
But this is the problem with the whole algorithm thing, where it's let us know your choice so we can give you more of the same. I don't want more of the same. I want to see.
I want to move around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, if I could, which you can't, if I could move around by like company, I could go. I know some indie companies. Do you know what I mean? I could go and look at things like Dynamite and things like that, but it's just hard. But on the flip side, I do like a subscription model for comics. So I'll be interested to see what this one drops with. Is this going to be a subscription? Is there going to be a subscription option, or is it going to be like you just buy the comics?
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, they had a good vision back in the day, so let's hope they've still got that going on.
Yeah.
I got questions about the name, but
me too.
Doesn't exactly trip off the tongue, does it?
Not when you're trying to recommend it to people who don't even necessarily read comics.
Yeah.
At least with Comixology.
But even as a comic reader, I'm like, what is this? I don't know. And if it's referring to some kind of manga thing that I'm not aware of, I'm lost.
If I hadn't have read the article on it and you'd just come up to me and said, you need to check out this new comics app, it's called Neon Ichiban, I would assume it was like one which was heavily focused on
sort of
manga.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So what I was going to talk about was Rogue Trooper. So for those who don't know, one of the best British comics ever is an anthology comic called 2000 AD, and it introduces us to Rogue Trooper. In fact, if I'm right, Rogue Trooper came from Star-Lord, which got amalgamated into 2000 AD, and I love Star. I still think Star-Lord was the superior comic, but there we go. Anyway, so what it's about, what does it say here? It says... Rogue Trooper is a lone survivor super soldier on a mission for vengeance, accompanied by a sentient gun, backpack, and helmet imbued with his dead fellow squaddies' personalities. And now I've read that. That sounds mad.
It was mad. I loved Rogue Trooper back in the day, though.
Yeah, because he was part of he was a GI, a genetic infantryman, and they were all bred to be able to fight on this really inhospitable planet. And what they've got is that if they die, they've got a chip in them, and one of their friends can get a chip and put it in a piece of their equipment to keep them alive until such a time as they can get a new body printed. But they get betrayed, they get betrayed, and he is the last survivor, and his three buddies, who he's put into his gun, his backpack, and his helmet, and they're out for vengeance. They can't go back and get new bodies grown. It's all of that. So Duncan Jones, who, for my money, his best work was Moon, the film Moon, which was just amazing. He has done an animated sci-fi movie of Rogue Trooper, starring Nyron Bernard as Duncan Jones, and I'm very, very as Duncan Jones as Rogue Trooper, as Rogue Trooper, and I am very, very excited for this. The animation has been built using Epic Games Unreal Engine 5 for the gamers out there who know how these things work. I'm just saying stuff because I'm not really up on that. But there you go. And yeah. And the thing for me is, so last year I did a job with Michael Sheen, just going to drop some names in here. And what we bonded over was our mutual love of science fiction and comics. And he's a big 2000 AD fan or from back in the day. And when I heard about this, I went up to him and said, "Oh, have you heard about this?" He just gave me this look. And I was like, what have I done? And apparently Duncan had asked him to play Rogue Trooper, but he couldn't do it because of the show we were both doing. And I swear the man was like, you know what? You know when someone sits there and goes like, this show I'm doing, it's been a passion project for years, but maybe I could just junk it in and do Rogue Trooper instead. You could tell that thought had gone through his head at some point, man. But we're proper excited for that.
I was really interested as well because weren't they? I think they never got off the ground because weren't they doing like they were doing a Dread TV series, weren't they?
Were they?
I don't know if that got shelved. I think it was going to be called Mega City 1. I could have made that up. I'm sure they were.
Yeah, I'll tell you, well, there's been lots of rumours about. What I don't understand is so many things from 2000 AD's different IPs are just... they're just itching to be explored in other media, and it just does my head in that they just haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, but some of the other voices, have you seen some of the other people in this?
You got Sean Bean,
Haley Atwell,
Matt Berry,
Jack Loudon. He's in Slow Horses. I'm sure is that him or was that Jack London? I can't remember his name now.
One of them.
Reece Shearsmith. Ace of Barfield,
yeah, no,
that's a good old cast.
That is a cast. Yeah, bring it on, man, bring it on. The problem now is I want it next week.
I know. I don't know. There's no time scale yet, is it, for when it's going to drop?
Nah. Anyway, let's move on before I get upset. It is time for the week that was.
Oh yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I've got a book. Yeah.
Okay.
B, I've got a book.
Okay.
I'm going to read you an extract from this book, and afterwards I'll explain why I've read this to you.
Go on.
So you've got two women, yeah, and they're washing. And the old woman, who is a nanny, she says, "I need hardly ask whose sweat and leakage this is. Oh, no. Oh, you know, you needn't ask, but don't start moralizing at me. But you know, Frex is bound to notice sooner or later. These energetic afternoon naps you take. Well, you always had an eye for the fellow with a decent helping of sausage and hard-boiled eggs. Nanny, come, this is none of your affair." "More's the pity," said Nanny, sighing. "Isn't aging a cruel hoax? I'd trade my hard-worn pearls of wisdom for a good romp with Uncle Flagpole any day."
What?
Hello? You still there?
Yeah. What?
What are you wondering right now? Let's go through your head.
I've got nothing.
You know when you see something and you're like, how the hell was that adapted into this?
Right.
I just read you a passage from the book Wicked by Gregory Maguire.
Oh, right.
This is the shit they turn into a musical.
You're still on that shit.
But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to write off the franchise. Maybe I'll go and see the stage show and actually love it because they've got all of that stuff, but in a decent time frame. Yep. I don't know. Maybe I won't because none of those songs actually. I don't remember none of them. I couldn't hum you one of them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Apart from Popular, and that's because everybody in the Western world sings it whenever they get a chance. But so I thought, you know what? Why don't I go back to the original source? Let me go back to the book that started it all. I'm a reader. You know, I can read pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time with this book because it's grim, B.
Is it?
It's a fantasy book. It's an out-and-out fantasy book. It's really well written. It's really good world building. Would not want to live in that world, man. It's grim. It is dark. It is grim. Stakes are high just for daily life. There's classism. There's sexism. There's religious oppression. And I'm like, how'd you turn this into a jolly musical with dancing? The book is good. I'm not, just because it's grim, I'm not saying it's not good.
Yeah.
Definitely, but it's just because life is quite grim at the moment. It's taking a little bit of. It's taking I can only take it in small doses, and that's about me. But how this book? Because my mind is blown. So if anyone's in the mood for a pretty dark fantasy based on The Wizard of Oz, this is the book for you, Wicked by Gregory Maguire. It's a riveting good read.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll put that on the back burner for that, buddy. I mean, I appreciate the effort. You know?
Let's take the hit, man.
I appreciate you taking the hit and doing the work so we don't have to.
And again, I just want to point out, I think it's a good book. But
speaking of like bleak, and by bleak I mean like just the level of like violence in this show is kind of unparalleled. Do you know what? Do you remember back in the day, right? We watched a film. It's probably one of my first experiences with like anime or manga or whatever before the days of Akira or whatever. Fist of the North Star.
This is so weird. I've been thinking about this movie this week.
Really?
Out of nowhere. I haven't thought about this movie for decades. Out of nowhere, I was just walking on the road thinking about Fist of the North Star. and how bleak it was and how like messed up it all was.
And just how violent it was. I remember thinking, violent. God, you couldn't do this as an actual film because this is just brutal. I caught up on Invincible. I'd seen the first season of Invincible. So people don't know, Invincible was a comic series by Robert Kirkman.
Kirkman, yeah.
And they've now turned it to animated series on Amazon Prime. 3 seasons are out now. And I'd watched the first season. I enjoyed it, but for some reason, I started to watch the second season and just didn't quite get back into it. I think maybe there might have been a bit of a gap. I don't know. And I'd literally only watched one episode. And anyway, cut long story short, I circled back round to it a couple of weeks ago and ended up. Not only did I watch the second season, I went straight in and watched the third season.
Interesting you should say that, because I loved the first season and I watched the first episode of the second season and I haven't gone back. And it's not because I don't like it and I don't know maybe I need to just reapply myself.
Yeah, I was the same, but I have to say it was really good. It was really good. But man, people get a whooping in that show.
Yeah.
Not least of all, I really feel like for a dude who calls himself Invincible, he might want to think about that as a title.
It's like he's just throwing a challenge out. That's the problem.
I'm trying to think if there's literally, because they always do a thing where they go to call him Invincible and then the title comes up.
Yeah.
I think there's an episode where he's getting a whooping, and literally every time they say Invincible whilst they're hitting him, the title comes up. It's just
Damn.
Yeah, he gets
I'll tell you the bit that lives rent free in my head. Are we doing spoilers for the first season or not? That's the question.
Depends how big the spoiler is.
It's the bit with the subway.
Yeah. Oh no, there's yeah.
I've never got it. It's like all them poor people. That's the bit I've never got my head out of. And it's I saw some cartoon where someone goes, "Hey, Invincible, you hungry?" He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Fancy a Subway?" Oh, sorry, too soon.
Let me tell you, there's worse in them other two seasons, man. Talk about collateral damage, man. Jeez. But what I do like about it is they don't kind of shy away from that, and in some ways the story arc of season 2, well, probably both seasons, kind of. This is why I kind of wish they'd done a Man of Steel 2 and not gone straight to Batman v Superman, because you could see some of the elements they were trying to do in Batman v Superman that I feel they could have stretched out in Man of Steel 2, which I feel kind of they do a lot of that in those other two seasons of Invincible, just dealing with the aftermath of things and collateral damage and the impact that it has on the world and the heroes. But yeah, there's some serious people putting it on the line, man. Especially in season 3.
Okay,
you got to get
it's time to get me. What I will add, just what I've discovered, I decided to go looking for Fist of the North Star images because I just remember dude walking through this devastated sort of. It was once a city and now it's a desert type thing. Do you know what I mean? And I always remember that image. So just looking things up, I realised there is, from 1995, a live-action Fist of the North Star film.
No, there is. I remember seeing it, and it was pretty bloody as well.
And a stage musical, having just custom for making Wicked. It toured across. They did it in 21, so it's not even a long time ago, and it toured across Japan and China in 22 and 23. Wow. There's me going, how did they make Wicked into a musical? And I'll take it all back, man. I'll sit on my hands. I'll take it all back.
I'll probably go to bed after this, but tomorrow morning, man, that's my first hit. Hitting YouTube. It's the North Star the musical. That's a sentence I thought I would never ever say.
No.
Wow.
Because it was bizarre violence as well, man.
It was just people's heads exploding and all sorts of nonsense, man. So quickly, as we race through these, because this is the thing we ain't done in a while. There's so much,
so many.
But there's two things I want to sort of talk to you. One, definitely. So I have seen Captain America: Brave New World.
I too have seen Captain America: Brave New World.
Thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people won't have, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. I don't think it followed the usual Marvel structure, which is a good thing. And I think people going, oh, it wasn't that great a film. Marvel needs to do something different. Well, you know what? That actually was a bit different. There was a bit more detective work going on than you used to. There was no big, there was lots of set pieces, but there was no big, I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot more talking heads kind of thing. It was a lot more, do I dare say cerebral? I don't want to give it that much, but it was definitely a lot more. There's definitely a lot more to it than your normal Marvel structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I did enjoy it. What I'm trying to work out why I wasn't crazy about it.
So here's the thing. So for me, I'm pretty much carbon copy of what you just said. Like, but what I remember when we started to watch it, it's a mild spoiler, but it starts with a kind of big action set piece.
Mm.
And I really struggled with that set piece because to me, it felt like this is a set piece where you're showing me like this is new Captain America. Do you know
and
what
he's
I mean?
just as good as Steve Rogers.
He's just as good as Steve Rogers.
Just so you know.
But my problem with it was so. What I would say is like when you watch, and I remember because me and you went to see it together. When you watch the opening of like Winter Soldier, when they him and Black Widow raid that boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to fight with a dude and all the rest of it. That scene is wicked. The action is wicked. The way it's shot is wicked. The music is wicked. Whereas in this one, and I think it's part of my problem with the film or issue with the film, is it's still a little bit of a victim of the gag. The little gag here, there, and everywhere. And the fighting just seemed a bit badly staged.
Mm.
There's a bit where he has a kind of one-on-one fight with someone, and it just seemed really badly staged. And even like the little one-liners in it, I was just like, Oof.
I think for me that the problem with the fight for me was no matter what you try and pass it off as, what he's doing is super soldier serum type fighting.
My boy should be dead.
Yeah.
At least 30 times over, my boy should have been dead. It was like watching Captain Scarlet, the movie. Do you know what I mean? My boy should have been dead at least 30 times over. What I like, because I think Sue says to watching it, she'd say like, God, he's got to try really hard, isn't he? I was like, yeah. I think what I liked about it was, when you remember, there's a bit in Winter Soldier where they're talking to someone and Sam sort of says to them, like, don't look at me, I do what he does, only slower.
Yeah.
And I think with this, what I wanted, and it's actually a strength of the film, what I liked was he had to work hard and he had to work smarter.
Yeah.
Because there's a fight scene where he has with I can't remember the guy's name, but it ends up with them like in a junkyard, and he has to do a couple of little, he has to think on his feet to kind of beat him because he doesn't have the super soldier serum. But you've got to take a lot of artistic license with that, because it's not even a spoiler. It's in all the trailers. It's on the posters, which I have a real issue with. They should not have put the Red Hulk on the posters or in the trailers, because I actually think that spoiled quite a big part of the film.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have a fight because obviously it's advertised, because I think basically the marketing or Marvel didn't trust the film to stand on its own 2 feet, and it was almost like, we've got to do something, let them know we've got the Red Hulk in there, that will get bums on seats. And I feel that you kind of shot yourself a little bit in the foot, because then people were like, well, clearly this is going to happen because you need to get to the Red Hulk, innit?
Yeah.
And when they had that fight, don't get me wrong, he pulled a couple of cool moves in there, but I'm like, hang on a minute. I mean, okay, look, I get that he's got like a vibranium suit and all that. I get that, right? But that's the Hulk.
That's how,
And you're human.
You should be done. One punch and you should be done.
You should be done. Yeah, I don't care if you got like vibrators, because my thing is as well, it's like, that would be the equivalent. You put me in a suit of armor and you stab me in front of a train, right? And the train hits me. I ain't gonna I'm not gonna shrug it off. I'm gonna be dead.
Do you know what? For me, this goes back quite a fundamental thing that I was always opposed to. And I'm not even talking about the films. I'm talking about the comics, because this is where it happened when they made the Falcon Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the Falcon is the Falcon, man. He's got his own legacy, his own whatever. Just make him great.
Yeah.
And why hand him down another white dude's legacy? And then when you make him Captain America, you put in a normal human in a suit, a super-powered suit with a shield and whatever, trying to make him do. And it's like, suddenly you're taking away all that. I don't know. Suddenly he is, whatever they say, he's super-powered. You know, and they're saying, oh, he's not really. But he is. And you've kind of taken away that humanity and all that effort that goes into being a non-powered fighter in that universe. Anyway, and I'm like, I had to accept that move, but I was never here for that move.
Also, as well, like you, Moz, I was glad that I watched it way after the hype down.
Yes,
and I could just watch it because I actually did enjoy it, but I kept thinking, like, they changed his outfit, which was a good move, because that whole kind of bright white business that weren't working for me. So they changed the outfit, but I'm like, but you got wings, and there was some. Don't get me wrong, there's some cool aerial stuff, but I was almost like, pick a lane, because I'm like,
that's the Falcon's thing, man.
I think the point of it is, we're trying to say is, like, you could have called this film The Falcon, Brave New World, and you could have pretty much done the same choices through it.
Yep.
And it still would have worked. And that's not even a criticism of the film. That's just me. You could easily still have done that, because I think if you hadn't seen, one of the things I did like, actually, to be fair, was little nods where we didn't have to have him doing the same heavy lifting that he'd done in The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit like where he goes in the bar and he's like chatting to some of the guys in there, and he goes to get a drink. He's like, nah, your money's no good here, Cap. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. And like a lot of the soldier dudes kind of respected him and things like that. There was little nods like that I liked. That was subtly done. But I feel if you hadn't seen Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier, I feel like there's a lot of narrative that's been left on the table for you, and you got to do a lot of heavy lifting when you come into that film. Because effectively, all you would have known is, yes, Cap gave him the shield at the end of Endgame, and now this is the next time you're seeing him. Whereas I feel, for the likes of me and you who have watched the TV series, I feel like there was more. I've seen the character growth. I've seen how he's got to be here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've seen. I've forgotten the other guy's name. He was effectively the first Captain America.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah. You've seen his journey and stuff. But there was a really good scene at the end of the film with the guy who's basically the new Falcon.
The new Falcon, yeah.
Yeah, and they had this really, really, I thought, it was a really powerful scene. And then they dropped some kind of cheesy one-liner joke, and I was just like, can we not always do this now, Marvel, man?
Yeah. No, they hit Iron Man, and then it's like, yeah, that's what we do.
It's just like, can we not undercut everything with like a one-liner? It's just like, come on. But no, I did overall though. I did enjoy overall. That's all right, man. Not everything's going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I did like it. I did. Yeah, I'm not hating.
Nope.
I don't know where to go from here. There's so many different directions.
Predator, Killer of Killers. There.
All right, there we go. All right then. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, it was all right.
Now, come on, man. It's 10:20 in the evening. I ain't got time for this kind of nonsense. Give me don't even go there, man.
You carrying it like you know me. You don't know me.
Look, man, I ain't got time to play this kind of like, oh, it's all right, and then suddenly you come back as, no, it was really good, B. Let's just skip to that, man. Let's just.
It was really good, B.
It was good at it.
I was like, also, I thought. Is it a spoiler? I don't know. I'm going to say it. We could decide afterwards. I thought it was going to be. My understanding was that it was. See, I avoid trailers, and
Yes.
it's Predator, and I know it's in the. It's in the same world as the original Predator and Prey, which I loved. I love Prey, and it was about 3 characters from different points of history. What I was not expecting was that they were all linked.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea. I just thought it was like going to be like an anthology.
To be honest, neither did I. I did neither.
And it was at the end of the first one, I was like, wait, what? What's happening? What? Don't understand. What's that? Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh because it's like, if you get hunted by a predator, if it kills you, you're dead. If it doesn't kill you, you're screwed anyway.
Yeah, it's the very definition of a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. I was like, ooh. Yeah, no, fantastic animation, fantastic story, plotting, acting, scripting. It was just fantastic.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
And like the second one, which was like set in sort of feudal Japan, was there any? It was hardly any words in it.
There was barely any words in it.
Barely any words, and it was great for it. It didn't need to be. Didn't need to be. Yeah.
I have to give props to the last story, which is the one set in like World War II. Just because the level of like work my boy had to do to stay alive in that film, man.
Yeah.
My boy was working in that film to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost haven't got anything else to say. Do you know what I mean?
No. Did you see the post-credit scene?
Yep.
Okay. Man.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's no-win situation, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to because he's the guy who did Prey is obviously the guy who did this.
Yeah.
And now he's doing another one, which is his Predator Badlands.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that now because I'm like, my boy gets it.
Absolutely.
He gets it, man.
I just got nothing but applause, really.
No, yeah.
All right, so oh god, I wanted to mention. You know what? No, because that's going to take next time. So I discovered something called. Well, I saw a clip of something, and I thought, what movie is that from? That looks really good. So I kind of worked it out and looked it up, and it's from a Netflix series called 1,000 Suns.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
And I was like, oh. And basically, each episode is just an exploration of a different alien world. So they're not connected other than that it's a different world. Different customs, different things going on. So it's all sci-fi, basically. It's got titles like Ice, Red, Exodus, Deal, Bug, Tomorrowland. Yeah, 6 episodes. And I thought 6 episodes is not much. I mean, can I get into something else right now? I'm not sure. Yeah, what the hell? I'll give it a go. The longest episode is 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, yeah. But don't tell me they ain't got money behind this because the production values were next level.
Really?
Man, and I meant to have a look at the making of, and I think there was a little bit of there was an introduction to the making of. I'm like, one of them takes place on a kind of ice planet, and they filmed in friggin' Alaska, man.
Oh.
And so, I mean, like proper on. It's like, and you look at the equipment they were bringing in, and they had to 3D print a spacesuit and stuff. And, the director's going, we brought in the best people, the best equipment. I'm like, I don't know where the money came from. But you put it to good use, man. Put it to good use. So if anyone wants to look it up, it's called 1,000 Suns, and it's by Black Milk Studios, and all of them are on YouTube as well.
Okay. As well as, did you say it was Netflix?
I said Netflix. Yeah, I think it was Netflix. But having said that, I think I watched it on YouTube.
Okay.
So I think it might be, I could be lying about Netflix. But Do you know what I mean? 6 episodes, the longest is 5 minutes. You can't go wrong, man. Can't go wrong.
Speaking of not going wrong, and just to move mediums briefly, just a quick couple of comic shout-outs. So I read, I got the Marvel What's Marvel's digital comics app called?
Marvel Unlimited?
Marvel Unlimited, something like that. Anyway, whatever that is, I got that. And I went back because I had started both of these. I bought them sort of digitally a while ago, but I hadn't finished their runs. I went back and finished the Black Widow and Hawkeye runs, which were done by Kelly Thompson. Man, if you haven't read either of those titles, you need to stop what you're doing and get on them.
I don't think I finished the Hawkeye. The Hawkeye one. Oh, what did you say? You got Hawkeye and
Black Widow.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember if I finished them, but I do remember going, these are amazing at the time.
So good. And also as well, like, again, I'm going back to the whole trash fire, bin fire that is the world. So much fun. Just fun, especially Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Just so much fun. And I think off the bat, I think there's an interview with her as well, like she was a bit worried because coming off the back of the Matt, is it Matt Fraction?
Yeah.
Off that kind of Hawkeye which everyone talks about, and coming to the back of that, and you got Kate Bishop and nailed it, man. Did her own thing, worked brilliantly. Art was phenomenal. Apologies, I can't remember the whole sort of cast and crew now. For Black Widow and Hawkeye, I might stick them on the show notes there. But because they should be on the show notes. And for shame on me for not going and digging them out, because the art on both of these titles, again, phenomenal work. And the lettering is, I want to give props to lettering in Hawkeye as well, because that's really inventive, the way they've done certain things, like which is kind of clocking different angles for things and like different targets and stuff like that. I can't recommend them enough, to be honest. And they both finish.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to go back to what you said about, so Matt Fraction did a run on Hawkeye, which was about Man Hawkeye.
Yes.
And it was groundbreaking and brilliant. And credits to Marvel. They didn't go, oh, let's do more of that. They went on to Woman Hawkeye, who is a real person. They didn't just invent a woman out of nowhere. Kate Bishop's been around for a while. But they went on and developed that. And I was just like, you know what? That whole thing, let's do more of the same, has ruined so many franchises, and they didn't fall for that. They went on. I was like, yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. So yeah, big up props to that. Also, I read the first arc of Absolute Batman.
Okay.
Have you read any of it?
I've read the first issue. I've read the first issue of all the Absolutes.
Oh, okay. It was good.
And I went, oh, I like this. I'm going to have to wait for the trade.
Yeah. I think you like the Absolute Batman trade. It was good.
You don't sound like...
No, I think my thing was it was really good, but ultimately, once I'd finished the arc, I didn't feel compelled to stay with it. But I think some of that is because for me nowadays, which is why I liked the Black Widow and the Hawkeye so much as well, because I can, even if it's like 20 issues or 30 issues, there's a beginning, middle, and end, and that's just where I am now. I mean, to be fair, the Absolute Batman does have a beginning, middle, and end, because it is like a first sort of story arc and stuff. But I'm kind of like, I've read the first story arc, I'm like, I'm all right now. I don't feel the need to keep going. As much as I love Batman, there's a world out there besides Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. No matter how good it is, you've still gone back to different versions of the same.
Yeah, I mean, he's a. Don't get me wrong, man. I mean, one, he's a much more brutal Batman, and two, my boy hasn't skipped a gym day.
Yeah, he's big, and
he's a big.
He's large, man. It's like, there's no way, if they'd done it the traditional Bruce Wayne way, that wouldn't have worked. Because everyone...
He'd have walked into some cocktail party and be like, well, that's clearly Batman, isn't it? Look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to style it out like he's Bruce Wayne, you know what I mean? Oh, good man to try. Look at me, I'm Bruce Wayne. No, you're not, man. Put the drink down. We know you're Batman. Come on.
Listen, I have to talk about this before we go, so this will be our last. So one of the things I love about Netflix, and I applaud Netflix for, is that they give us access to TV shows from other countries that we would never have come across. So I've been watching, I don't even know how I came across it. It just popped up on Netflix. I went, oh, that looks interesting. I'll give it a go. And I'm watching a show called Eternauta. Eternaut, or whatever. I don't even know what it means.
Oh, is this based on a comic?
It's based on a comic from way back
in the day, isn't it? It's a European, like a French comic. Or...
It's Argentina.
Oh, okay.
So the whole thing is set in Buenos Aires. So I don't think I've ever watched an Argentinian show in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a go. And then I realized, first of all, I had I had the English dub on.
Oh.
And it's like these American voices. And the problem is, you know, some people are really good at dubbing, but they just sound so... You look at these dour Argentinians going through this hard time, and the Americans are like this. The American was like, hey, George, did you do the thing? And I'm like, it's just not working, man. It's just... So I had to turn it off and get the subtitles up. So, yes, and it's six. Is it 6 episodes? I think it's 6 episodes, and I've done it already.
Oh wow! Okay.
I think I did it in a week. It was so good. It was so, and like the majority, there's quite a number of people cast wise, which they handled well. I had a good balance, and you know the main characters are the main characters, but such a good balance of the supporting characters. It just felt like everyone was in it. Do you know what I mean?
What's the premise?
Oh yeah, that. Right. So it is one summer's night in Buenos Aires. A mysterious deadly snowfall wipes out most of the population and leaves thousands stranded.
Okay.
Juan Salvo and his friends embark on a desperate struggle for survival. And then it just goes mad from there on in. So initially you just think, you know, what is going on with this snowstorm? So like you can't go out in it unless once it touches the ground, you're safe. It's like it denaturizes or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's fresh from the sky, it touches you, you're dead. You breathe it in, you're dead. So you can't go out unless you've got a mask on or every bit of your skin is covered or something like that. And suddenly it's freezing as well because it's snow and whatever. Yeah. And like, what the hell's going on? And then slowly as it goes on, you think, wait, something else is out there. It's not just the snow that's the problem. Something else is out there.
Right.
So you go, where's this? And then you start to see these meteors coming from space as well. You're like, what is going on? What is going on? So there's a lot going on there. But also what I loved is a lot of the main cast, they ain't no spring chickens.
Okay.
And what, you know, when you watch a lot of Western TV, it's like, how the hell is this 23-year-old an expert professor at so on and so on, and not just had
problem.
Right? I don't. I just and also, you know, like people like, you know, they join the army and suddenly they're expert veterans at the age of 26. You're like, well, come on, these people, the reason they're surviving and doing well. It's because they've been around, they've seen things. When you say they served in the army, they've been in proper combat back in the day. They know, you know what I mean? A lot of these people are seasoned. And what I found is a lot of sort of English speaking shows, they're not afraid to use older people and use them well and use them believably.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, you know, there's one particular woman in it who, you know, her and another guy start this relationship. So there's a kind of love interest thing going on. And the reason I mention it is just like, if it was an American or English thing, she'd be proper svelte and fit and classic looking. And she weren't none of that, but it wasn't important because they had this relationship and she's this main love interest. And it's like, they don't rely solely on the kind of glamorous looks that we seem to rely on in the UK and in America for that kind of role.
We've seen that a few times as well with shows like that that come from different countries and stuff. Yeah.
But that aside, production values are amazing. plotting, acting. I've got this pet peeve here, is when you're watching something, the extras are shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you see them in the background and they're like, director, man, you should have taken a bit more care of your extras and got them to actually do some acting. And I'm like, there's this one busy scene. And even the extras were giving it their all, man. And I was like, come on. This show, I'm loving it. And where it left was such a cliffhanger. I'm like, man, there better be a season 2. And apparently there is. But looking at how much work goes into it, I'm not expecting to see that for a couple of years. And I think the biggest thing for me is, I think I might have gone in there with a bit of bias. It's Argentina. How good can it be? It might be a bit shoddy here. There was nothing shoddy about this, man. Nothing shoddy. I was yeah.
I won't ask you to try and pronounce it again. Just send me it.
Eternaut. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I cannot recommend it highly enough. There we go.
Cool. I guess we'll save Dr. You for now.
That might take more than the 5 minutes we've got left, man.
Yeah.
I keep thinking, I'll have had a chance to calm down.
Yeah, and calmer heads prevail and all that. And we're on. Yeah, let's end things on the positive. That's what I say. I'm all about the positives at the moment.
Yeah. Eternaut, that's or whatever it is. That's my positive. I'm such a fan.
Yeah. Oh, and really quickly, in less than a minute, I'm going to say I think I've watched 7 episodes now, but people need to go watch Department Q if they like slow horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A few people told me about it, and I was like, okay. And then we stuck it on maybe 2 days ago and rinsed through 7 episodes already. It's a cracking, cracking show.
I want to watch the Poop Cruise.
See, you say that like you're gonna raise like a little laughter, or whatever. I'm like, I am so on that show.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
I saw the trailer today, and I was like, I am on that.
So for people who don't, it's got nothing to do with geek stuff. But for people that don't know, it's a reality. It's a documentary, isn't it?
It's a documentary about a cruise ship. I don't know how long ago it was. It doesn't sound like it was too long ago. And it was like, and it was like, it's the trip of a lifetime. This is great. And I was like, looking at those clips going, this looks horrific to me.
It does. Before things go wrong, it looks horrific.
And then all the power cuts out. And they got 4,000 people stuck on a cruise ship that ain't moving, ain't going nowhere, ain't got no power. And what that means is the toilets ain't working, but people still got a wee and poo. So hence the name of the show, like the Poop Cruise. And it sounds like it sounds like a nightmare from hell itself.
There's even a bit of one of them says like it's like Lord of the Flies up in here or something like that.
And I was like, there's just a montage of people going, oh no, hell no, absolutely not. And I'm like this. I can't. This is kind of, and it's actually it's a series of documentaries about horrific things going wrong, and the series is called Trainwreck. So it's called Trainwreck, the Poop Cruise, and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what it is. And I God help me, I have to watch that Trainwreck.
Oh, do you know what? Right, I saw this trailer last week. It popped up on my Netflix last week. I've been waiting for it. I'm so excited to watch it. I was like, it's out of Tuesday. And I kept saying to Sue, when's the 27th? She's like, it's not yet. I was like, oh, man. And then I went to check my Netflix yesterday, and it's like, Poop Cruise drops tomorrow. I was like, yeah.
That's hilarious.
This is literally my life now. Yeah.
That's the note we leave on.
Yeah, that's the note. Poop Cruise drops tomorrow.
Drops tomorrow.
Round us up, man.
Ooh, all right, so It's been a while, but as Barry said at the beginning of the show, it is so good to get you to know that people still out there, still listening, still supporting. So please, please, please drop us some questions. Let us know, what do you want to know? Tell us you disagree with us if you think we're talking rubbish. Tell us if you think we're on the money. Suggest something to us. Tell us what you've thought of the stuff we've suggested to you, and you can do it by contacting us at the Geeks at geeksyndicate.co.uk, or find us on social media at the Geeks, or by our individual names. It's so easy. Do it. And if you do fancy supporting us, then find us on Patreon, or drop us a coffee. What's it called? Buy us a coffee.
Buy us a coffee. On
that one. Yeah. That one.
Some shekels.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, thank you for the love, and until next time, which we promise will be sooner than
Don't do that, man.
All right, yeah, okay. So until next time,
we'll see when we see.
Yeah. Until next time, which will be sometime.
Yeah.
Geek Syndicate. We out.